Good morning. Hi everybody, I'm Janelle. This is my channel, Janelle Art. I make mindfulness drawings, basically, pebbles. That's what we're doing right now, just a small piece of watercolor paper. Take the time to mindfully put the pen on the paper, and the result is a big stack of paintings. They're watercolored and other water-based media. The lines are added using a pigment pen, so that is waterproof. I've recently decided to try out these accurate professional waterproof technical pens, permanent acid-free non-fading pigment ink. If you're around here a little bit, you'll know that the ones that I usually or I have been using so far have been the Pigma Micron. I'm pretty pleased with those. As far as the ink delivery, it goes on the page smoothly, but I find that I go through them pretty quickly. So I was looking for some alternatives to see if perhaps there was another pen that might have a little bit more of a life to it. So let's just get started in here. For anybody on Replay Crew, I'll direct you to the description for this video. There's a link to my community post that has details about how you can get your hands on one of these pieces of paper with a few pebbles colorfully added. I'm helping out a colleague who is raising funds, and there are details to that fundraiser on the post that's linked in the description. So I hope you'll take time to check this out. If you are watching this video prior to December 16th, 2024, I'm sure the fundraiser, well, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll meet the goal and have it wrapped up by then or before then. That would be terrific. But there's a time window on your opportunity to receive one of these as a token of thanks for helping out with that cause. And the deadline is December 16th, 2024. So I hope you all are well. It's been a bit of a hectic week. December is always a bit full of frenetic energy, isn't it? The days feel short because they are literally the shortest of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. But I encourage you to hang in there. We're coming to the solstice. We will start getting a few minutes of daylight each day. It's gonna get brighter. And I know a few of you come to this channel from the Southern Hemisphere. So the seasons are flipped. But I'm glad to have everybody, no matter where you hail from. And I'm thinking of you out there. I'm hoping that your days are not too hectic and that you've got some time to recharge and take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and if you're like me, got a cat, or maybe a dog, or something else, some other living things. It's important to take care of each other. It's important to take care of yourself. And having a simple mindfulness practice can really benefit your well-being. So that is why I engage in a mindfulness practice. This particular exercise invites you to focus your attention where the pen meets the paper. Just let your mind's eye see those shapes and describe them with the point of the pen. Just nice and quietly tune out all that chaos, all the nonsense that comes to your door and bangs away, asking for access to your peace of mind. Just tell it no, not here, not today. Not in this moment. We'll just shift that around, take another perspective, get the outline of what's going on here. We're just going to ignore the clamor, tune in to our own sense of peace and well-being. Now, if you're starting on your own Pebble journey, please know that you're going to go at your pace as you learn. I've been at this for, golly, it's been half a year on these drawings, so my pen goes a little bit more quickly than it did back in June. It doesn't matter if you do it quickly and efficiently or if you do it slowly. It's all of benefit. It all helps you quiet and focus your mind on the important things, the essential things. And I'll give you a little advice. What's important is what's right in front of you. It's not what happened yesterday or last year or last century. It's not important what might happen next week. You're not there yet. You're here. Be here. Be now. Alrighty, there's a little closer look. Hi out there. Good morning. Hello from the west coast of the United States to you, wherever you might be. That went pretty quickly. I think we might have time to do another one. Just look through the stack of blanks and see what we've got. Oh, we have all kinds of goodies here. It's a little bit bigger size. So I've just added water-based media to the squares of watercolor paper or sometimes a bit of cardstock. Can't want to pipe up? Anything catch your eye? Just throw a little comment there for me. I like this one quite a lot. It's got some ultramarine blue and some earthy tones in the background. They look quite different, don't they, from when we start with this. What is that? Blobs of color? It's just hard to make visual sense of it. Quiet down a little bit. Draw a line around some things and all of a sudden the little pebbles come into focus, don't they? Well, this one's got a different look to it. Let's try that one. So I use a fair amount of water with these. Hi, good morning, Hannah. I'm doing well. How are you? It's lovely to see you. Let's take it from chaos to some bit of order. I'm glad to hear that. So Craft Zone is joining us today. I'm glad to hear that Craft Zone is doing well. I hope you've been carving out a little bit of time to work on your crafting. It's the 7 a.m. hour here on the west coast of the United States. And I usually experience a bit of an internet slowdown as the 8 o'clock hour hits, so we'll just be here for a little bit this morning. But I know it's just been busy, so I wanted to make sure that all of my subscribers and any viewers or folks out there had a chance to spend a little bit of peaceful, contemplative time. And I always hope you're working on your own art, but if not, I know I love watching other artists work. So I'd just like to turn on the camera and give you a chance to spend a few moments with some Nice, calm, restorative, therapeutic art practice to maybe to watch as you have a nice cup of tea or whatever your beverage of choice might be. No Face from South Carolina. How wonderful to see you, good sir. Do you want to see the one we did first? Look at this beauty. Wouldn't it be wonderful to walk along the bank of a stream or the lake shore or the edge of the ocean and find a cache of rocks that were lapis lazuli blue? That would just make my heart sing. So the east coast of the United States, I know the upper part of the United States has got a polar vortex forecast, which will bring in some very cold temperatures. So I hope that they won't reach all the way down to the Carolinas. It is frosty and very chilly out here in Oregon today. I poked my head out the door, took one breath, and came back inside. It will officially be winter here in the northern hemisphere in just a few more days. But our temperatures are winter type temperatures now. Feels like the fall just went so quickly. Those beautiful fall leaves have all been swept up, and the trees, branches are making these silhouettes against the sky. '60-ish and raining. Well, that's nearly fall. Oh, crap zone, Hannah. Don't be sad. We all gotta work. That's how we afford our art supplies. Yeah. Don't spend it all on arts and crafts supplies, though. You want to save some of it so that you can get to be like me, retired, and stash of cash to buy a colored pencil or tube of paint now and again. Now, the lines don't always have to be perfect. Sometimes add a little interest by overlapping them. There's no wrong way to do this. This you're trying to do is the time and the attention. It's not about the paper, not about the paint or the pen. It's about the practice. When I first glanced at this piece of paper, I gotta tell you, my brain kind of went, I'm not sure what to do with that. That sometimes happens. I do find that if I go ahead and jump in, just take a deep breath, let it out, repeat. Some of my favorite little paintings have been the ones that have started from a place of seeming confusion. I love the way the beauty can emerge from what first appears to be confusion. You don't really know where your destination is going to be. But if you start the journey, you'll get somewhere. I'm overthinking it. There's this lovely green patch here, and I was wondering if I should leave it open, and too much thinking. There we go. That one's a bit different from our usual. Good morning, Cubs Champion 16. It is lovely to see you. And here's the fella. If you check the description of this video, there's a link to my community post. And in that post is a link to a fundraiser for this young man here. He's in a bit of a pickle. I think that might be an understatement. And I invite friends to reach out and help him if you're able. It'd be terrific if you're able to contribute to his fundraiser. It'd be terrific if you're able to share my post or link back to his page and share anything he's doing. I would really appreciate you taking just a couple minutes of your time to do that. It will make all of the difference for him, and it will let him know that he is part of a community here, that we care about him, we care about his well-being, we care about his struggles. And if we can turn a piece of paper into some help for him, let's do it. Well, we got a few people here. What do you say? Let's see if we can knock out a third one here just for the fun of it. I like that one. I'm trying to find something here that's just different. That one's a bit dramatically different. Let's do that. Yeah. All right, catching up on your chat here. Well, I'm glad you stopped by, Cubs, and I just gave people a chance to say howdy to you this morning and let you know in person that we're thinking of you. Yeah, they're pretty fun, aren't they? Thank you for the compliment. Thank you, Hannah. All right. We've got some deep mossy greens and some mid-tone yellows. There's a little fleck of almost a purple color there. Let's see what we can make out of this. You guys want a closer look before we dive in? Kind of like where they start. It's just don't know what that could be. Let's see what we can make of it. All right. You get on with it. The faster you start it, the faster you'll be done. So far, I think this pen's okay. They came in around $15 and change for a box of 12, so less than half the cost of the other brand of pen that I like to use. The feel of the barrel of the pen is a bit, see these ridges here are, they not quite as comfortable. I noticed I've had to shift my grip a little bit, but this is not an intense hours-long project, so I'm willing to give up a little bit of comfort to have a handy supply. I said I ordered them by the box, so won't have to hop in the car and run down to the art supply store to resupply. My busy brain just is already calculating how long it will take me to get through that box. Are you like me? Do you have a bit of a busy brain? That old ADHD or whatever acronym we're using today. ADD, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. At times, it was listed as adult attention deficit disorder, AADD. It's all about the same thing. Your challenges are different based on your age and what you've got going on in your life. But my brain has trouble gating out what's important. It wants to think about as many things as quickly as it can. It's always busy. So I have to guide myself a little bit to focus in order to be more efficient at what I do in my daily life. And if you're struggling or contending, let's not call it struggling, if it's just part of your makeup and it's part of how you go through life, or if you know someone, it's very common. So you might not actually have ADD, but chances of you knowing somebody that you interact with, a coworker or a family member who's dealing with these issues. We tend to have lots of energy. The problem is to get it directed in a way that we can produce efficiently the work that we need to produce, whether that's an activity of daily living, whether it's a job assignment, or whether it's completing a painting we've been working on, or getting the laundry done. You guys know. So my brain wants to just rattle around. But every day I spend a little bit of time practicing, bringing my mind and attention back to one task. And I've gotten pretty good at the task of drawing circles on paper. But I find that this habit spills over to other areas. So here's something simple. The other day, I was able to put 2 pieces of bread in the toaster, wait for the the bread to be turned into toast, catch it when it came out of the top when it was still hot, uh, get some butter on the toast, and get the peanut butter put onto the toast. And, some days that's a challenge. I'll tell you, I can't even tell you really how many times I've come into the kitchen and there's two stone cold pieces of bread sitting in the toaster because I started to make toast 3 hours before. I'll tell you, it's nice to get the peanut butter on the warm toast. It's all melty and it's really nice. So, just learning to focus myself, take myself in hand a little bit. Have you ever put a mug of water into the microwave thinking to make a cup of tea or maybe some hot chocolate? 3 days later, you open the microwave and there's a mug of water just sitting in the microwave. Mm-hmm. There may or may not be a mug of water, ice cold water, sitting in my microwave. Just saying. Oh, life is funny. My point here is that the more you focus, the more you practice focusing, the more able you will be to focus in other areas of your life as well. And this is fun. I have a lot of enjoyment doing this, and it's quite fun to share with all y'all out there. Good morning, Adam. Adam says he leaves the water in there, and then he goes to put something else in, and an almighty crash ensues. Um, yeah, because of course you've got something in both hands, and you're trying to hold something and use your knuckle to open the door, and there's no spare hand to get that other stuff out of the way, is there? Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that putting paint on paper is going to make you a whiz with your own microwave, but I do think it'll impart some small benefit if you engage in the practice, which means you got to do it more than once. I work on it daily because I am a scatter-assed mess in my own brain. Maya, good morning. Good morning to Norway. The water gets pissed. You let me change back. Oh, it does. It does. It leaves the mug and it goes rambling all over. It just pools along the sides and drips off the inside of the door. It's very unruly, that water. Oh, well, that one. Sometimes I surprise myself with how quickly these things pull together. How's the sound and the visual quality, Maya? Is it hanging in there? Let me know if it gets a little fuzzy. Um, I managed to leave some white space on here. There's our first one of the day. Let me see. Let's go with a little bit of a... Since I'm rolling so nicely today, I think I'll go to one of these bigger format ones. I think this one's a... Got here, yep, a 4x4. Oh, good. Well, as long as it holds up, we'll keep going. We might have about another... somewhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes a good signal around here. It just kind of depends on the traffic. And when the traffic in a nearby busy road gets slowed down, everybody gets their phones out and the cell tower just goes, I can't handle the traffic. But as long as we've got a little room for the signal to get out, we'll just roll with it. It's a signal achievement, says Adam. I have to tell you, I'm always delighted to see you in chat. You never fail to bring a smile to my face, Adam. And somebody told me the other day that they really appreciated your presence in their chat. So well done, you. Good, nice to hear that if people are talking about you behind your back, they're saying nice things. So I know when I'm here demonstrating this, I'm giving you a running dialogue here. But if you are working on your own mindfulness practice, ideally, you wouldn't be juggling a cat and a live stream and having your brain on, multiple tasks. Ideally, you could focus on doing the one thing. Your body will take care of the breathing and the important stuff. Obviously, there'll be more things than just drawing going on. That's just the reality of your biology, your physiology. And if you can notice the other things, like maybe the sound of traffic or an airplane passing overhead or the sounds that you're hearing in your environment, and rather than trying to sort out that stuff, if you hear a fire alarm, pay attention to that. Sounds of danger, pay attention to that. But any kind of ordinary sound, just make a note of it, bring your attention back. Your mind will wander when you meditate. It will travel. That's what it's built to do. So don't stress if your mind is wandering. Just invite your attention back into focus. I know when I started a meditation practice, I just struggled to get that concept. I felt like I was failing or somehow not meditating. I wasn't doing a good job of meditating if my mind went out and thought about squirrels and candy and music and that load of laundry and, the 57 other things that can come to you in just a flash. And that's just how you work. The trick of meditation is to make a note of that and then come back to your breath, come back to your steps if you're engaging in a walking meditation, come back to the paper if you're engaging in an art meditation. You don't get points for never losing your attention. It's just not about that at all. So I'd love to hear if any of you have a different meditation practice that you enjoy and you're willing to share it in the comments. What you find enjoyable. If there's an app or maybe a book there's quite a few good books with different meditations, and you can thumb through and find something to read as your meditation. Maybe you just do a breathing meditation where you concentrate on the feel of the air as it moves across your nostril and goes into your lungs. As you let it back out, cycle through. Probably as many ways to meditate as there are people. If you already have a prayer practice, that is also a way to meditate. Hmm. Adam says, I like Tibetan meditation with all the weird visualizations. Uh, I do too. Hi there, Irish Mart. Yeah, a few years ago I had a chance to see the Dalai Lama speak at a conference, and it was just an experience it's hard to put words to. The crowd of 10,000 people, and everybody just. When you're in a crowd of 10,000 people who are all deliberately and actively practicing loving kindness, it is a mind blowing experience. Nobody's jostling, nobody's being a jerk. Um, it was incredible. And he spoke, and there was a bit of a conference about the environment with some other folks who took the stage and had a panel discussion. And then the Red Hot Chili Peppers came out and closed the show. I will say this. I don't know if you had to be there, but I wish you'd been there. Yeah, it was really incredible. Yeah, I recommend it. I recommend Buddhism over cults, and not to say that there aren't some cults within. There's some very culty Buddhist sects, but SECTS. And it might take a few millennia, but if we can all figure out loving kindness, that world will be amazing to live in. It was funny though. Oh yeah, and the Chili Peppers are here. So, I don't think it was on the. I don't think I knew that that was on the schedule. This is just sort of incidental. And being in the crowd with all of the Buddhists and students of Buddhism just rocking out. Oh, I wish you were there. It is a good thing to treat each other with loving kindness. It really, that that can change everything. We would stop exploiting each other and abusing each other and grasping for the resources at the expense of the others. You can you can maybe queue up Imagine or something along those lines right now. Um, yeah, I don't disagree with you, Adam. I I think we have to leave room for the humanity. What I do. I think I'll share this and we'll close with it. Um, when the Dalai Lama was asked whether or not we should all convert to Buddhism, he pointed to Mongolia and the effects of Christian missionaries had on the culture in that part of the world, and bringing in a new culture just created wholesale devastation to what was there. And it wasn't a judgment about the pros and cons of Christianity. It was just an observation that conversion can have its own negative impacts. And When asked, should we adopt your religion, he said, no, stay with your own culture, stick with it, add to it, take some of the better ideas and put them onto what you're already doing. It's, I think, quite rare to hear a religious leader say, no, don't adopt my religion. Don't send me money. Keep in your own practices, because they've evolved for the place and for the group of people that you're part of, place where you exist. We've seen others standing on the street just out actively trying to route bodies into their way of looking at the world. Do it our way. It's the only right way. I mean, is that true? Do we think that's true? I think the way that ends with us treating each other with more compassion and kindness and not exploiting one another, that's the place I'd like to get to myself. The way of doing things that doesn't empty your pockets, that doesn't destroy your will to live and your capacity for independent thinking. Yeah. Alrighty, little art show here before we wrap up. Get, yeah, just, I don't think there's a particularly correct answer. I think the answer that leads you to be a kinder, more decent person who cares and who takes action to make the world a better place. That's a better direction to head in. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I am so grateful for the chat and I appreciate it. I see I've got some nice thumbs up there. Thank you very much. Have a peaceful, focused day. I hope that you are productive in what you're setting out to do. And yep, I'm just gonna check, see. If we'll catch up on comments and then we'll wrap it up here. Maya asked, did I use some of the new paints on the backgrounds? No, I think these were all out of the stack. I believe this little piece of cardstock was vintage paints from that paint set from the 1960s paint set that I was working with last week. We do have new paints. New paints. All right. We can have a quick little new paint art show here too, I think. Yeah, so I've got some Daniel Smith granulating watercolors from Cascade Green. And there's Hematite Genuine. We've got a little bit of the Schminke Horadam Desert Gray. Green Appetite, that's going to be new. That we'll be seeing that come up. This one in the middle, do you see that shine? Yeah, that was a paint called Graphite from Van Gogh, and it was described as being metallic. It's glitter, so I will not be incorporating that. I don't like to put the pen over the top of glitter. 010, do not recommend, unless you are trying to clog your pen. We've got a new, beautiful Minnesota pipestone from Daniel Smith. There's that Cascade green again. A little bit of... I did pick up a couple of new quinacridone ones, which I love the vibrancy, and I love the way that they drop into the wet paint and then just blow a big, wonderful rounded shape into the paint. And a little nickel azo yellow here mixed with imperial violet. It's a bit of a golden mid-range brown, but it's got some vibrancy to it. I think it's might be a little hard to see unless you see yellow ochre right beside it, but it's just got a little more dynamic energy to it than straight yellow ochre, which is what you would usually use for that color. Got a couple new neutrals, because you know, I like a rock color. Got some Payne's Gray and some neutral tint, and I don't know if you guys are nerding out on this as hard as I am. I just am having so much fun with the new paints. Undersea green. Do you see all these? This is one color of paint, and when it dries down, it's got this gold and this sort of smoky gray and a mossy green. It's all just out of one tube of paint. So of course for the rocks and pebbles, that is that fires up my creativity. We've got a new one here, Lunar Blue, with these flecks of black. So we're going to be seeing some wonderful new backgrounds, and I've just been playing with the paints on these little test pieces to see how they interact. The neutral zone and the shade islands. Yeah. So the Minnesota Pipestone Genuine makes for kind of a uniform wash. I was expecting it to be a bit more granulating, but it, you know, smooth is nice too, because then you have the contrast, and that's kind of fumbling here looking for a, well, I don't have the little landscape I was working on, but we got a couple shades of paint here, just creating some wonderful little grainy, pebbly, gritty trying to think of a word besides things, but yeah, things happening. And yeah, here we go. So back to a bit of a more formal painting, but you see all the character we're getting in those pebbles and rocks? It's just magic when it when it dries down. It's so simple. It's just a little bit of water on a brush, and you sweep it across this dried little block of paint and plop it in a little circle and let it dry. And I am continuing to be just wonderfully entertained by that. So yeah, here's the Cascade Green from Daniel Smith. This is all just a little drop of paint and some water. One thing, just, I think I could paint a whole painting, a whole field of rocks, and just only use, you know, one tube of, well, I could, I don't know if I'm capable of only using one color of paint on a piece of paper. Like we may have evidence that I am incapable of doing that, but if I were to, yeah, maybe I could do all of the main rocks with the Cascade Green, and then if I could fill in the background pebbles with all other colors, that would make me happy. Matthew, it is so wonderful to see you. I have missed hanging out with you, and I've been in a lot of your chats, and I've noticed lately you've got so many people there supporting you, and I love seeing that. So I didn't I didn't chat, but I was there, and I wanted one of those ice cream sandwiches you've been fueling up on. So, hi, hi, howdy. Have a great day. Yeah. So Maya says it sounds like someone's hungry. The cat meows are just, I assure you, they are absolute lies. She's been fed. Oh, are you just saying hello? Oh, okay. You're telling everybody to have a nice day out here? No? Are you telling them to go bring you cat food? Go. You. Someone was at the store and you want cat food. Is that it? That may have been it. Alrighty. Well, I think that'll do it for us today. Again, just a reminder, check the description for that link to the fundraiser. If you yourself would like to have your hands on a bit of a thank you token, the way to do that is in the link. And I will see you guys next time. Everybody say thanks to Maya for being our lovely mod today. I always appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody who stops by and chat, everybody who watches on replay, everybody who shares. Bye for now.